in this room together. I think this is being recorded. We don't want David to see hear this. We may want to plan this.
Oh, thanks for looking back.
You may want to get your faces into the video a bit.
Trying to get rid of
Global citizens.
Hey, you saw
Did
the
you
one
say,
I sent you?
bro,
They're gonna have a crypto country.
I mean, yeah, I saw that one.
did you say my global citizen?
No.
Okay. Media.
Hi.
Hi.
Media.
Media.
That guy Ching over there, you may want to be careful. It's got double two down the leg belt.
Finally, we can put a face to the name.
Okay, great.
Never met her before.
Where got possible never met her before?
Hey, yeah. Guys doing around.
No, I was just telling them the story that you wanted to buy Bitcoin from me, but I closed it because the price is so bad. Then you said getting, you wanted to buy from me. Then I said no to her.
Oh, you purposely did that to me.
Because I wasn't selling.
Thank you for letting me know.
The price was so bad.
He's more reliable than the people that don't know like you.
Makes sense.
I send him the money, he sends me the coins. It's a lot faster. But just 2 or 3 more coming, and then we should be able to be good.
Good crowd, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll just introduce you. I know most people here. Then introduce you officially. And then the purpose. Just up to the agenda. How many of you actually read the weekly forums, the weekly updates? Because we share it once we get it, we normally share it in the group, right? So that's the development update that we get. This could be the next thing we share there. Yeah. Yes.
Hi, Dave. Nancy, how you doing? Hi, guys.
Hi.
These guys are from Inti, and they're working on a MateSafe app. It's like a store where you can buy and sell things like eBay or Amazon.
Awesome.
Or taxi.
Yeah, taxi.
Oh, sorry. Okay, never mind.
It's okay.
They're working
It's
on
almost the same.
an Ethereum taxi app.
Ethereum taxi.
Yeah.
Like that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, full grab.
To kill Greg. Yeah.
Kill them all,
Doing
man.
the wallet.
Kill them all. Anybody use fiat currency, kill them all.
They also use cryptocurrency.
Yeah, you leave it open, just use Weekend is here.
Oh, she's here. Oh, I have to ask her.
She's supervising the
I see.
Okay, guys. Since I know most of you, some of you may not know Will. Maybe the first time you're meeting him. We had one session back in November. That's sort of like starting the chain of monthly events that we want to have. And it's not really an event, it's just a gathering to give us updates and to see where MateSafe is, where the Safe network is where are we with progress, right? So that's the entire idea. And just keep everyone connected and keep you updated. That's the purpose. And if there's any way you guys want to contribute, in terms of your time and your whatever ideas, feel free. But just to kick things off, we've got Will Gallo. He's worked with David and Nick in the past in Scotland. So he's now in Malaysia. He's got a team of developers. They're also doing app development work for the Safe network. So that could be a coin coming out in a few months' time, right? Or maybe earlier. Safe FS.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 years ago, yeah.
Oh, okay. So the company is up. So they're doing app development work for the network. And it's a lot of work right now that's coming together for MateSafe in different parts of the world. Right? So we have this small community here, and we just want to start things, getting people more informed and more involved if we can. Okay? So I pass the mic to Will.
Alright. So we have a little schedule here. I guess we do the welcome and then maybe just do t-shirts first.
Yeah,
since we're
we've done the
recording.
t-shirts with those who.
Oh, no
Yeah.
one's got their shirts.
So we got a sample of the t-shirts and just put over there. Okay. So these are the blue t-shirts we got from the last initiative we had, right? They came yesterday by courier, one day before our meeting. So just nice. So MadeSafe actually gives this away, but what we organize is a small donation to pay them back for the t-shirts that they are contributing. So the money that they use from the collection of the t-shirts, they use it back for marketing initiatives and other things for the foundation, right? So it's there's no amount that you can give whatever you want. You can give from 20 ringgit, 100 ringgit, 500 ringgit, up to you, right? Yeah. So this was the first initiative, and if we have more people who would like to have one of these, feel free. We might organize another round.
Yeah, there's a few different shirts. There's like a gray one.
Yeah,
and,
my wife is wearing the grey one. You can see her modeling that afterwards. But this, although my son said I look fat in it, although he said,
Right.
yeah.
Nice, nice. Like he's not big.
I'm gonna talk to him later at home.
So yeah, I guess does everybody know each other? Am I the only one who doesn't know each other? I think we could all do introductions and talk about how we know MadeSafe, how we know each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could start. So my name's Will. I grew up in the States and lived all around, but when I heard about MadeSafe on YouTube, I just got totally addicted. I think it's going to change the whole world, and every day I've just been working on it. I'm an app programmer, so mostly front end, but I've been making different apps for them. 12 different apps, just small ones. I really like their system. So yeah, my biggest one is like a Dropbox type of app. It's called SafeFS. It's been awesome to work with MadeSafe. We've done little groups for them, in San Francisco or all these different places, and now I live here, so we're trying to get this one going. This is like the first official one, and Harv's the leader, so the next one could be a lot bigger. We're gonna post about it on the forums, and maybe they donate, and then the next one's bigger. We do like free MadeSafe coins for everybody at the next one, or funding things like that. But yeah, thanks for coming to this one, and I'll let him continue.
Okay, so I've done my introduction. Right? I'm Harvinder. I came to know about MadeSafe about a year and a half ago through this guy, David McGregor, who lives out in Auckland, New Zealand. Although I always think he's Australian, right? But yeah, he lives out in Auckland. Great guy, gives super advice. Every time I reach out to him, he just calms my nerves down if there are any on the day. And he's been a great source of information for me, right? And then I've just tried sharing as much as I can about MadeSafe to other people, because I think what they're doing is quite awesome, right? So then from there I met Hao Jun. I pass it over to Hao Jun.
Yeah, like Harvinder said, I learned about MadeSafe through him. And at first I got into the coins because of the sheer potential for profit. Of course, when you bought something with the intention of investment, then we want to read more, understand more. The more I read, then I realized the more this world needs MadeSafe. So yeah, then I got my colleague in as well. I got everyone around me, talk to them about MadeSafe.
So my name is Miguel. I got to know about MadeSafe from Hao Jun, as mentioned earlier. When he first introduced me MadeSafe, I think it was like 6 cents, and I didn't buy. Stubborn. So later when he brought me to meet Harvinder, the Grandmaster, it was suddenly like 40 cents, and like yeah, I got it then. Then I've been beating myself for not going in earlier. So yeah, then ever since then I think I've been like hanging out with them and learning more about MadeSafe.
Hello everyone, my name is Nitya. I got into Made because Arvind. He introduced me when? About 2 years ago?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
You know.
And so bought it during then. This is the first time I'm meeting most of you guys. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Hi, my name is Lim. I get to know MakeSafe is through Alvin, right? For me, very simple. He asked me to go, I go. Ask me to stop, I stop.
No pressure.
I'll be second top hero right now.
Yeah, I'm Hinfai here. So I'm introduced to MakeSafe through my wife. Okay, and then I did very quick research, to compare the MakeSafe technology with like, for example, like a storage, which is the centralized storage solution. But I think MakeSafe is more than that. It is meant to revolutionize the whole internet. I think it's very interesting, and I want to believe in it. So this is why I'm here. So, I'm gonna pass it to him.
I'm Kareen. I met Harvin at work and I got to know MakeSafe from him. So you must call him the Grandmaster. And I get my periodic updates from him as well. And I leave all the technical stuff to my husband.
Hello everyone, I'm Cheng. Same to you all. I get information from Hamilton. I still remember the time when I was very interested about Bitcoin. The time I saw somewhere around $60 at that time. And then when since the rapid growth of the Bitcoin, then I start to look interest to know what how people can do it. And from there we know a lot of currency after that. So I try to know more about the other coins that I want to look at it. Then I will introduce to me about the MakeSafe. Okay, but in terms of MakeSafe, I also do some brief research, and I need to know something about decentralized technology. But I came here the most reason I wish to know more about this one. That's the reason I come here. Okay, thanks everyone.
Hi everyone, my name is Dylan. Actually, I'm an Indie student and currently in the final semester doing FYP. That's why I know Will and Lexi because they came into our college to introduce their application, what we can do, what we can contribute. So that's why we know what is MakeSafe really doing, and also they are doing a decentralized network that is quite interesting. Currently in the world, decentralized network is quite famous now. So yeah, we are looking for the technology. Yeah, that's all.
Hello, I'm Marcon. I'm same as him. Last semester student in UB, working with Will, the e-wallet app.
I'm new here, I don't know anything about MakeSafe, so to learn a lot about the going from here, also to follow more on together. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks everybody. So yeah, I guess we'll just go straight to the presentation. So Prezi I made a long time ago for San Francisco. So some of the stuff is outdated, but so yeah. So what is MakeSafe? They're a company building safe networks, secure access for everyone. It's their tagline. It's supposed to be like the next version of the internet. So current version, everything's on servers, everything's maybe owned by big companies. There's all these limitations for speed and the types of apps that can be made and how the data is being used. So version 2.0 is like a completely new system, built from the ground up, from scratch, and using the same pipes, but all the code is completely different in the structure. And so offers a lot of cool opportunities. And so there's a few different sides to like MakeSafe and Safe Network. So first I'm going to talk about MakeSafe. That's their official company name, MakeSafe.net Limited. It's a Scottish non-profit, and yeah, proudly Scottish. So for a while, I don't know if anyone's seen this movie, but the way they always talk about freedom and people coming back against the rich people. Like I was kind of think of this movie. It's great. It's like the People's Revolution. Because really good. Yeah, this is an old slide. Now they're at like definitely over 40 people. I have a big office in India now doing like front ends mostly. But these are all the original guys. I think it's in the yeah. So that's CEO, founder. He's made the original version of Python like forever ago, and has been pitching it to colleges, and he teamed up with Mastercoin to create the very first ICO. Well, one of the very first major ICOs ever, and it got 8 million before any company was ever doing ICOs. Like nobody even thought of that. There was no Ethereum. There's no anything like that. So MaidSafe was really the pioneer for this whole space. And they don't say that, they're so humble. And this another guy, Francis, he's from Canada. Yeah, he's great. He does community stuff.
Frank Brunel from the forums. Frank Brunel. Yeah.
He does like a lot of the updates. This is Fraser. This is like Dave Durban's best friend. I got to meet him also in Scotland. Super great guy. He's like one of the deepest routing devs on the team. Gabriel from Argentina. Nick Lambert, who's like the number 2 guy in MaidSafe. Does the marketing and public speaking. So Rust developer is a little bit newer. Shona, she does the voiceovers. If you ever listen to some of those videos and you hear that. Another routing dev, he's like, I think he's kind of becoming CEO or COO, taking over. This guy I worked with in front end dev in California. So yeah, as a company, I guess there's 2 sides again. There's the for-profit UK company, and there's the non-profit foundation that runs all the apps and stuff. So everything's set up really carefully. Yeah, foundation. They also, if you go to Troon and you see their office, they have like these 3D printers and like dinosaur models set up. So they really try to find a lot of things for kids so they can learn about coding and get them involved. So another side to MaidSafe is the actual platform, like it has an internet. That's called the Safe Network. And so yeah, anyone who knows how data is held today, like I said, it's with these massive server farms, like a room like this, all these walls opened up, it's just filled with computers. There's all kinds of like problems with that. So many people's data in one place. It's vulnerable, it's slow, it's expensive. It's not really working. So in MaidSafe, it's like distributed much more evenly, securely. Like everybody has a node on their laptop or their phone, and it replaces the server. So you would be hosting a local internet on just your laptop. So it's a completely different model. Yeah, there's just so many benefits for that type of. I wouldn't say no problems, but yeah, there's just a lot of things you can do when you have the network built like that. So this is, I guess, the reason a lot of people here are, well, never mind, not SafeCoin yet. So okay, just as an income, if you're a developer and you're making apps, these guys, everybody here, so it has all these really like next level peer-to-peer economic systems built into it on a network level. If you're like an internet startup today, you would have to feed your people, hire them, and then like for profit, you would have to sign maybe contracts with advertising agencies, or you would have to have all these legal, things in place just so that you can monetize your app. Especially open source, it's even harder to make money for that. So Safe Network has that's what we're talking about. Safe Network has SafeCoin cryptocurrency built into it, because of course today's internet has no type of currency built in. But so if you make an app or any type of software that's running on Safe, and people are using it, the network is, you have a wallet address built in, and the network is like automatically filling that with SafeCoin based on the amount of users and the amount of traffic measured in GET requests. So, which is awesome, because then you can just make an app, you know, it's useful, and then get money. You don't have to put ads, you don't have to, you know, make annoying pop-ups, you don't have to sign contracts with AdWords or find, it's like, it just makes everything so much more decentralized and sustainable. It's just built in from the bottom. And so yeah, but if you're not a coder, if you're just a regular internet user, you can have a node, like we said earlier, on your computer or your smartphone, and it's just, all you're doing is hosting data. The network's sending it through yours, people are accessing it. You're like a mini server for people, and you're making SafeCoin. You just put in your wallet address, and you're making SafeCoin. So you could, if you have like, you're even trying to fine tune it where it works really well on smartphones, and maybe plug it into the wall, have a solid Wi-Fi connection, and then pay for your phone. And after a while, they're working with, a few years ago, they talked about a company they were partnering with to try to, you know, in certain developing countries, like help people do that to get a free smartphone. So there's lots of plans like that in the works. Yeah. So anybody can just make money as a little server. And if anyone's familiar with Bitcoin, it's nothing like setting up an entire full node, which is like over 120 gigabytes right now. It's just so much more decentralized and efficient, where you just hold the chunks that are actually being used by the network. It's not like you have to take a week. I just set up an Ethereum node, you know, for Daxi a while ago, and it took like a week just to get it synced with the chain. And it's nothing like that. You just tell it how much memory you want safe to have on your hard drive, and start farming. And yeah, I know this is a reason a lot of people are here. MaidSafe doesn't really like to talk about this. You know, they're kind of anti, like, talking about just profit or gains, and there's a lot to be said for that. But so yeah, I know a lot of people here are interested about like what you can do, how to buy it, how to become a part, and it makes sense. So these are a lot of the exchanges you can use. That was probably, this is probably a good order, but yeah, that's like number one, number two, and then based on, there's a few more, there's GetBTC, where you can just, if you have Bitcoin, you can trade it with other people for SafeCoin. There's even some lighter services like Shapeshift or Changelly. And you can just, as long as you have Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything, you can switch it for me. Yeah. So I like this slide. Do people here know about Bitcoin? Or, like, I guess pretty much everyone on that side. You guys familiar with Bitcoin blockchain? Alright. So yeah, Bitcoin is a system for just keeping track of money and how it you can use it for people are using it for smart contracts, people are using it for, you know, open land settlements, things like that. And you know, it's cool. It's a good technology. It's good for keeping things open. But people are trying to build an internet on top of that, and it's not even so differently than building an internet on top of blockchain isn't even real different from building an internet just on top of regular servers, because it pretty much does that anyway. Like Skycoin, SeaCoin, storage. I'm not sure about storage, but mostly all of them just they put all the data on servers anyway, so there's no better. And then it just like is an address, like a hash to where you can find that data. So nothing's faster, nothing's necessarily cheaper. It's pretty much the same system. And yeah, and of course SafeCoin, MaidSafe, it's like it's actually spread out. It's the data itself is on these vaults everywhere. So it's not just on servers. I guess it's when we're talking about currency, but yeah, that's how these have the currency, at least the deal with decentralized internet. And then yeah, anybody who knows a lot about, this is pretty biased because I've been in this space forever, but like anybody knows about how money works, like governments just print it, they have total control, there's this thing called inflation, which makes all of your guys' money worth less over time, and it's not really a nice thing or really sustainable. You know, always in the news you hear about all these countries in debt to each other, and it's just getting worse and worse, and nobody's gonna pop. Especially in the U.S., I would hear about that all the time. So the good thing about all these coins and Safecoin, Bitcoin, all these is like, you know, it's decentralized. It's not one person making all these decisions. Ben Bernanke or somebody is like, it's the entire like miner pool. They can vote on updates. They can vote on anything like that. It's the entire open source development pool who figure out which ways we can tweak the code to make it better. It's just the entire monetary system is like the people in this space. And back to inflation, like it's great because there's like a certain amount, and then they don't just keep creating more. So if you hold some, it doesn't, in theory, it doesn't like necessarily go down over time like a lot of these government currencies with inflation. Like, you know, your grandparents said I could buy a movie ticket with 10 cents to them in the States, and now it costs like $20. But yeah, that stuff doesn't happen with these coins because they don't keep making more over time. So it's really good for a healthy society where people don't just get poor, the rich get richer. That's like a huge point in all of this Bitcoin MaidSafe. It's like a big part of the vision. So yeah, so the last part is as a revolution. Just talk about the different sides of MaidSafe and the Safe Network. So MaidSafe as a revolution. Pretty much everything we talked about is combats dishonest financial systems, central control. I guess one interesting point on this is people talk about, you know, automation and basic income. If anyone's heard about basic income, yeah. So it's like robots are coming in, doing all the work, and then how do we make money, right? If they take our jobs. So people said the government should make some kind of basic income thing, but these blockchain systems or Safecoin, if people are able to make money with their computers or make money with their assets, then by farming or mining, then it's kind of like a basic income that actually makes sense. And this is more of like a kind of futuristic debate, but all of these systems are a good solution for that problem. Yeah, and this is a big point too. You can read about it on the SafeNet forums, but it might be too much to get into right now. But on Safe Network, it just everything's open. You know, there's a big discussion you got to have about like freedom in society and freedom of information, freedom of data, and you know, if everything's so free, anyone can just upload anything and no one can stop them, then that completely flips out like the whole economic system right now, where you know you go on Amazon and you have to pay for like an ebook, or you have to pay Netflix to watch the movies, or you have to pay Google iTunes to listen to the song. It's like this flips all of that completely inside out, where everyone can just access everything. And you know, I think MaidSafe thinks anyone who cares about Safe Network, like or understands it, thinks that that's a good thing. That people should have freedom. That you know the future is brighter when everyone can access anything, do anything, and not be controlled. And maybe the future's darker. I can think about a few scary ways the world could go if the current, you know, top people just kind of control everybody. I can think about it's easier for things to get dangerous that way than if power and information and knowledge is decentralized around the planet. So yeah, so there's a lot to think about, a lot of discussions to have, a lot of kind of mind-blowing moments to have when you think about this kind of stuff. But yeah, I guess this is the same type of thing. Talk about, you know, breaking down the Chinese Great Firewall. Talk about alternative forms of government, decentralized voting, not necessarily Parliament or Congress voting on things for you, and potentially being, you know, bribed or bought out. It happens all the time. but like more direct democracy. You post a bill, and I vote for it. He votes for it. He votes for it. Just like direct democracy is supposed to be. So yeah, so this kind of stuff can have major, can just literally change everything. Hopefully improve everything, and yeah, there's potentially a way you guys could join in if you believe in it. We have all these discussion threads and forums, and we're going to teach you how to join in the discussion, learn about it, and yeah, do anything you want with it because I love it and it's not going anywhere. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I got.
Any questions?
Sorry. Presentation. You have any questions?
I have a few. You were saying something just now about like CR coin storage. They go blockchain storage. You see it from the back end angle. As a user, what difference is it to me by storing my information via this, the P2P storage, or blockchain storage? What difference does it make to a user?
I mean, these companies are getting really well at making the front end real nice and pretty, easy to use. So maybe not much. Maybe mostly what you would care about is like the price, how much it costs to store things. And I guess they found ways to maybe decentralize a small part of it so it's a little cheaper, a little more efficient. But, yeah, not much besides price. And when something like this is finished, the price just plummets.
So the price will be based on total storage available on the network against how much is needed, demand supply. That's what determines it.
And yeah, how many middlemen are taking the cut from the entire load? So yeah.
Another one. Okay, this is another Internet 2.0. I'm not a technical guy, so my question is going to be layman's questions. Hope you don't mind. How is the interactions going to be with the current setup of the internet? Because I feel we can't just abandon what we have now for this new future. It's right. So it has to be an evolution. It has to be some change, and in between there has to be some kind of symbiotic relationship.
Totally.
How does that look?
100%. Yeah, there's great threads on this on the forums too. But so, I see it going like there are going to be times when maybe a server is better for like some kind of MMO game or something where you just want to, you don't care about privacy or security. You just want to get that, delay from some super powerful computer on the other side as fast as you can so you can play the game or something. Or maybe video call, maybe, live streaming, like certain things where you don't care about privacy or control or anything like that. So yeah, they'll definitely both exist. There'll be things where safe network is super important, like texting on WhatsApp on safe. If you want to be secure like that, it'll be super easy. Emails, like YouTube, like anything where you just want to access data and not be blocked. All those things are going to be super powerful and safe. But yeah, then they'll definitely exist. There'll be overlap for a while, especially as something like this improves, it gets faster and faster. Maybe this one will go down. Yeah, it's not just like as soon as this launches, then that one dies. It's like just like Bitcoin. It's not like as soon as Bitcoin launched, everybody stopped using dollars. It's like as tech improves.
So it is not going to be cross-platform.
Definitely not. No. Because then you wouldn't have any of the safety or security or control or there's no way to like run a safe network on it. I mean, it would be really inefficient if you tried to set up a node on. I think somebody did that a few years ago. They tried to set up like a test net 15 node on their like Amazon web server or something, and it didn't run very fast. But yeah, I guess it would technically be possible, but it would kind of defeat the purpose.
Awesome. intellectual property.
Yeah.
How is it going to be preserved if all information is open to everyone?
Yeah. It's completely changes the economy, like I said. So if you're like I mean, I don't know how you feel about how it's being handled today. I don't feel like it's working really well. But if you're like an artist or something, and this is just my own understanding over reading these discussions over years, but like if you're an artist or a writer or a blogger, movie maker, it's all about kind of building yourself and building your followers. Because yeah, anybody could just, as soon as you post something, everybody can just access it for free and copy it. So you can't like force people into paying for things as much anymore. So it's about building yourself, building your brand, getting people to support you, like what you're doing, and then with a currency like Safecoin, where you can send tiny amounts for free, people could just support you financially too. So you're like, I like this guy, he's my favorite singer or whatever. I don't have to buy his songs, but I want him to keep being able to do what he's doing, so I'm going to support him with Safecoin. My opportunity. There could even be apps where like, if you listen to his music, you could say I want to donate this much for that amount of time, but everything's like opt-in. So it's just, I think it's a lot more efficient than forcing everybody $10 for this song. It's like, no, if you have money, you can donate this amount. If you don't have money, you can still read it and benefit. It's a whole new way of thinking about how to work.
It's very utopian now.
Yeah, well, it's just more efficient. It's just a little hard thought behind it. Yeah, I don't think it's utopian. I just think it's definitely a step forward.
What about you're working on something that's like Dropbox, right? Then become about privacy. So if let's say you store something up there, is it like accessible to everybody, or is it like you can somehow still protect it from public?
Totally. Yeah, there's you can use there's different data types when you're like an app developer letting users store data. So you could do like there's like public mutable data. There's all these different types, but you could store it as like a data type that is encrypted, and even if someone else found it, they could decrypt it. So yeah, you could definitely store things on safe. There's like private data and public data.
So another question I have is down to let's say a normal user. Basically, right now the current internet is you have to log into an ISP, and then the moment you log into your PC, it automatically goes onto the internet, right? But if Mate were to replace the internet, how would you log on to this?
Yeah, you still need an ISP, and then just to get access to the internet. But like over time, as the world continues to evolve, it can be there's all these discussions on the forum about like mesh networking, where it's people directly connected to each other via like Bluetooth and all these different technologies, where they just kind of build their own network, their own internet. It could start in like a town, and then it could kind of expand to this town, and eventually everything could kind of link up is really peer-to-peer. Especially for something like Safecoin, where people could be earning money from that. So it would be like a slow replacement, but that's more kind of in the future. Even like satellites can do that, but yeah, it needs ISPs for now because it's kind of like a step-by-step evolution.
Like when you referring to the like the Dropbox equivalent solution, so I just want to know like when you release the app solution for those early adopters. I mean, I understand for this technology, so you need to have like a large quantity of nodes for it to run like seamless to actually synchronize the data over a decentralized network. Okay, so how do you ensure that in the very beginning, because you need to have many nodes to.
Yeah, well, I mean, there've been over 20 like test networks for Safe now.
Okay.
And the latest one is Alpha 2. It's really big, and even the earliest ones were only maybe 100 nodes. MaidSafe would just pay for all of them. And now I think Alpha 3 is around 300 nodes. It's like 200 that makes it pay for, and 100 that some of the more advanced community devs help with. But yeah, even with like just 300 computers, it's really stable, and people are able to use my app, visit websites, do anything they need. I mean, of course, it's not as fast as like just going from Google and loading a website, but yeah, even just with 300 nodes like way over in Scotland or something, it's working just fine.
I tried, I mean, just a very short period. I tried the starch. I can download that and then try to put something up. I think it's taken a long time, like to load up the, yeah.
I haven't had to use it, but
It's good.
yeah, we should try Alpha 2 and try Alpha 2. Yeah. If you go on SafeNet forum, you can download the MateSafe browser and try some apps.
Okay, yeah.
safe/safefn.alpha and try ours. Try to upload some data. Yeah, that's okay. Test. It's all free.
I'll do that.
There's been a lot of discussion around MateSafe within the community about why MateSafe should put itself out there a bit more. Only recently has MateSafe gone out and hired marketing people. I think that happened the last quarter of last year. We've got Sarah Portland and Doug Campbell. Doug's been around the Bitcoin community for a long time. And he's almost an expert when it comes to marketing through the platforms that exist. So I think he's going to be a great addition to the team. And what he did recently was he updated the forum about what are some of the marketing plans they've come across now. It's still very early days. I've got to give him that credit, and I've never seen anything more organized since ever, right? That was the first time I saw something that was a bit more coordinated by someone from within the community. There's always been a lot of opinions and ideas floating around the forum about what we should do. And recently we've got a few good ideas actually popping up, and they're targeted for Doug and Sarah to try to take hold of some of these ideas. And this port idea was something that Will promoted in the forum. We're trying to make it happen as well, just to set up ports across information sharing, and maybe the information will get out a bit more, and the community will grow, right? Yeah. So it's not an MLM. When you refer a friend, you don't get anything. That's not the intent. We're not here to give you 10%. You make monthly 30%, 40%, or whatever. We don't promise you such things. It's just
when you refer your friend and you buy stuff, the MateSafe goes at 0.0000.
So that's the objective here, just to get the idea out there, right? When you hear Will speak about it, you know it's not something small that they're doing, right? MateSafe is trying to revolutionize the world, right? Like that movie Braveheart. It's a revolution, right? Freedom, these kind of things always start in Scotland. So true enough, right? So when you just read into the forum, right? When my early days I was in the forum, I was always doing like price projection searches for MateSafe. That was my primary agenda, right? And then I started to get to know Mate a bit more, and then you understand David and Nick, what they're trying to do, and you feel like maybe this is different, right? This is something different than most of the other projects in the crypto world. Then you start thinking, why aren't they out there as much? The idea seems great. Why aren't people catching on to it? Then you understand the crypto world. Everyone's in it to make money. Most people are in it to make money most of the time, right? They want their short-term gains. They don't see the long-term profits of what's being developed. Then there was a lot of push for MateSafe to get out there, do marketing, get the word out there, because we think it's something big, and they finally got marketing people on board. So Doug has presented a marketing plan. There are a few areas. For example, on Reddit, there's this place REDDIT, reddit.com. You go in there, you register an account, and there will be a lot of articles about Safe coming out. there were many areas around, within Reddit alone, there were like um, three or four different types of platforms that existed, right? We had three or four different communities within Reddit. Now that's all been consolidated to Reddit slash a safe network. So we're no longer going to market ourselves as made safe out there. Everything is built around the safe network. It's no longer made safe. So it's very clear, made safe is the company. We are now going to push the technology out there, safe network. It's about the network. It's about what's coming, right? What's going to be introduced is going to be the safe network. So most of the communication will be around the safe network, so there's less confusion in people's mind. There will be some confusion, but we want to lessen that, right? Then you've got now a great source of information is the forum. They're trying to amalgamate information in the forum and Reddit together. So whatever that we post onto forum, in the forum, it will also get pushed onto Reddit. So people get to share what's being discussed in the forums. And they are very knowledgeable people in the forums who give good information. This is our Safe Network forum. I am perpetually logged in. Right? Yeah. So whenever I see something come up, I'm always around to read up. Right? Sorry? Really? Okay. No, but I check in the evenings. In the evenings, I read like maybe an hour before I go to sleep. I just want to see what's going on. Sometimes I say something, just to get what's happening, right?
Look at the badges, man.
Am I regular? I was plus 73. What happened?
No, regular is above that. It's good.
Oh. Yeah, so I've just been promoted. I didn't know it, right? So okay. This is
What's
how
after
organization
regular?
works.
Do we need a life?
So yeah, but it's again. I'll show this to my wife. She's there. Anyway. Yeah, but great source of information. If you don't know Made Safe, you don't know what the safe network is, you have no idea what these guys in Scotland are trying to do, go onto the network here, read. Get your trust levels up. It takes you about 2 hours of reading the first time to get to trust level 1, and then you get to access a lot more information on it. Amazing information, right? The kind of people you get to know in the forum, a bunch of nerds like yourself. After a while, you do appreciate what they're writing, right? They start telling you why is this happening, why they want to do this. You just don't get addicted, right? So just be careful. So the safe forum is one place where you go. Reddit is another. So they're trying to connect the forum and Reddit together. So whatever that the conversation that happened here will appear on Reddit. Reddit is a large crypto community, massive. So log on to Reddit. Now what we need you guys to do, if you can, right, if you have time, go on to Reddit whenever you see anything about the Safe Network, like it, share it if you can. Same thing on Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter account, sign up, like and share and just retweet everything that you see there. The more people who read about this, it's just going to be more helpful, right? There's no income involved in this. You don't get extra mates for sharing. It's just you're just doing this to spread the word. I posted the recent video. I think it was an excellent video, easy to understand. I posted on Facebook. A few of you have liked it. One of you have shared it. Just go out there and like and share, right? You're not gonna. You're just trying to get the word out, and people read. People read. If they don't, they don't. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. Right? There's nothing compelling people to want to become part of this community. Then you've got, yeah, so forum, any questions with regards to the forum? For Will, he's been there for a long, long time. Sorry. Telegram, there is also a Telegram chat group, already about 1,200 people on, right? So come in, the conversations you see happening there alone will help educate. Sorry? Yeah, you wake up in the morning and you've got like 200 messages. Take your time reading, right? Amazing. You've got experts, or I wouldn't say experts, but people who've been involved in the project for a long, long time, the developers, some of the community members who are there, Happy Being, Brunel and all, they are in the Telegram group, and they will come and answer questions. Whenever a newbie comes in and he starts asking, where can I buy, what's the price going to be, whatever, these guys will come in and say, right? So, and then they will ask question, when is it going to launch? And you get a real idea about how do you start to understand MadeSafe. It's not about when they launch, it's about what do they do between now and launch, right? Yeah. So and then you want to start accumulating the coins, right? So make sure you don't take money away from the food you need to buy, right? Any day is a good day to buy. That's the advice I got from David McGregor, right? So yeah, any day is a good day to buy. So we've got Safe Network Forum, anything, Telegram, Reddit. There is also a LinkedIn page, MadeSafe LinkedIn, MadeSafe LinkedIn page. They often post their vacancies and the videos and all that. So I've been liking and I've been sharing it on LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn has a huge global community. You can do the same, right? Just help MadeSafe get the word out there. There are people in India on LinkedIn, massive, and that's a large community of developers that would be easy to entice them with the safe technology anyway, with the type of work that they do. And then we've got the video, the audio thing. Yeah. Okay. So the trading platforms, we'll go into that in a while. Okay, let's look at the video. If you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, video
That is true.
Sorry?
The video is on, but we don't cheap so this difficulty. I think I have now. I relax, man. Just sit down there and have a look at mine.
The idea is not for you to let your maid clean your house. Your maid is supposed to buy a new house for you.
Is your data. Decentralization. The internet's changing, and there is a wave of new technologies entering the market, but most fail to provide the levels of privacy and security we should expect. The current internet relies on centralized servers owned by a few large and powerful organizations to host your data. These central points act as honeypots for hackers and advertisers trying to monetize your data. Decentralization offers a solution to this problem. Data is split up and hosted on unused capacity of users' devices. A network is created as these devices are linked together without central servers. However, many decentralized services are built on blockchains, which are an amazing design for public ledgers, but terrible mass storage containers. Storing data directly on the blockchain is prohibitively expensive and provides poor read-write performance. Subsequently, blockchain-based storage solutions store a data identifier, such as a hash, in a blockchain, but store the data somewhere else, and this somewhere else still needs to be secured. We should be trying to secure the data, not the pointer to it. It is time for a solution that secures both the data and the ledger. This is the Safe Network, the world's first and only autonomous data network. An autonomous network is not a set of servers, or own storage locations, or identifiable nodes. It is a self-healing, self-configuring, and self-managing system. Similar to a colony of ants, there is no centralized authority, and yet it's highly optimized and effective. Comparative to blockchain mining, which uses proof-of-work algorithms, the Safe Network operates on a proof-of-resource farming system. Users are paid for the quantity and quality of storage capacity they provide to the network. Time for a truly decentralized, autonomous internet dedicated to the security of your data. Join the Safe Forum community to find out more.
So that's the video. It's probably the easiest video to understand about what SAFE is about, and there are many versions out there. One of my favorites is to watch David and Nick in the Kaiser Report, the interview they had in 2006 or something, and I thought that was 2000 something like one of those years, right? And it was an amazing interview, right? I understood a little bit more about what David and Nick were trying to do just by going through that. I think it's a 12-minute video or so. It's an amazing interview, right? You hear David speak about corporations need to be on a public ledger, individuals need to be on a private ledger. Today it's the other way around. Our information is public, corporations and governments are, but who should they report to? They should report to us, but it's the other way around, right? So I think the way they think, it's truly different and the way it should be, right? So they're trying to do something. So the more I hear what they're trying to do, the more I feel I think these guys have got their heads in the right place. They've got a great idea. Now it's how do they get there? That's going to be interesting, right? So that's the whole thing. And then trading platforms. We spoke about Poloniex, we spoke about Bittrex and all the others. Now, they're good. They're good for buying your coins. You can buy on any of these platforms. There are different fees that they charge you for buying. Some charge you an arm and a leg. You need to know, right? You need to be aware. Every time you transact your coins, you withdraw your coins, they're going to charge you. Poloniex charges you 10 MaidSafe coins for whatever number of withdrawals that you do, regardless, right? Now, what you need to currently do is two things you really need to do if you're on Poloniex. You need to go and verify your account. That's critical. Otherwise, they're going to block your account. Don't call me. I can't do anything. Don't call Will. He won't be able to do anything. You need to verify your account. You need to go in there. You need to show them your ID. You need to take a picture and all. So you need to have that computer available, right? Smile when you take the picture. Make sure you look like you're more or less like in your ID card. Otherwise, you might have a problem, right? So Poloniex will verify you in 1 or 2 days. It's relatively fast, sometimes a couple of hours, depending on whether they're awake or asleep, right? Then that's one thing. But once you've got your coins there, personal advice, no guarantees, but personal advice is to move it to Omni Wallet. Omni Wallet is probably, if MaidSafe was to tell you where to store, most people in the Telegram group will tell you Omni Wallet, right? That's it. This is the place where and then you please activate your two-factor authentication, download the Google Authenticator, scan, lock your phone together to Omni Wallet so that no one else can access if they don't have your phone, right? That's the most secure you can get. You really want to go a step further, you can open a paper wallet. We've got instructions. I've not done it yet. Mine are mainly on Omni, and I've got my 2FA activated, right? But step one, verify your Poloniex accounts. You don't verify, they block. That's it. Your mates are gone, or your bitcoins are gone, and you live happily ever after, right? Yeah. So how do you do that? You go into Poloniex. You go into your profile. Okay, you click up there under that small man at the top on the right hand column. You see my profile. You click there, comes down. You need to update, verify, upload your IC, front and back. First the front and then the back, and then it will take your picture. So three times you need to smile, right? Once your IC, right? Make sure it's readable. The information can be read. The back and then your face. Once you've done that, it takes about 2 hours. Some people 2 hours, some people 2 days, right? Some maybe longer, depends. So that's Poloniex. I don't know how the other networks work, the other exchange houses. I haven't traded on them yet. I only do Poloniex, and I move mine to Omni Wallet. So you can just Google for Omni Wallet. You will get the ID. It's really easy to set up your wallet, and then you transfer your coins out to Omni. Set up your 2FA. Should be okay. Like you cannot sue me if they get off.
What's your opinion on coin payment?
Coin payment is easier to use, but the transaction fee is very high.
It's also, so it's not like storing your stuff directly on
Omni Wallet, it's really easy to set up, but don't forget your ID. Yeah, don't forget your ID. Right? You remember your ID, you remember your wallet ID, should be okay.
So coin payment isn't a good place to keep?
And it's just like, it's just anything. It's like if you store it on exchange, if you store it on coin payments, if you store it on any company, the company goes bankrupt or the company gets hacked, you lose your stuff.
So how's it different from Omni Wallet?
Omni Wallet is you're in control. You set it up, you make an account right here. You can set it up, like you said, with the phone verification thing, and that's really secure. Most people use this. I haven't seen like a problem where they actually got hacked through this. This is all open source Omni Wallet, and then like he didn't really talk about, but you can store MaidSafe inside any Bitcoin address. So you could use something like this for cold storage and send your MaidSafe coin into here. It generates an address. You could run this on an offline computer. And, that's how you set up like 100% secure cold storage. At the end of all this junk, it'll give you an address, and then only you know that.
Is it a paper wallet?
Yeah.
So I'm keeping mine in coin payment now, so I should move it on your wallet.
I mean the easiest and
Do that. Sorry?
You cannot control anything.
Get lost meaning?
When you transfer to Omniwallet.
Uh,
Because my friends they try to transfer from continent to other way else, but some of them can also.
if you type one thing on.
Yeah.
I had a bit of mates on coin payments. I moved them to my Omni wallet. They were fine.
Most people just do like a little bit at a time, make sure it works.
yeah, that's how I do it. I usually do a fraction.
Yeah.
Then after that, I move the whole chunk.
Yeah. Some people want to save the fee that they charge you, but you have
It's
to
too
take,
much worries.
yeah, too much worries to put all the. Yeah. So that's one way of doing it. Your Omni wallets. See, the thing is that these are your MaidSafe coins. You've invested in buying your MaidSafe coins. Please keep them safe, right? So one day we have the safe network, we have less to worry about, but at this point in time, they're still sitting on a server somewhere, and the server acts as, like they said in the video, they're honeypots waiting to be hacked, right? So, yeah, that's a suggestion. It's not a 100% recommendation, but it's one way of doing it. So, if you're not sure how to do it, you can reach out to Will, myself, Haljun, and all. We can always help you to, how do you set up your Omni wallet and move your coins and whatever you need to know. That's not an issue. Okay. So I did help most of you to set up a Poloniex account. So yeah, Omni wallet is no big deal. Okay. But please do the verification. Whatever you do today, after this, do your verification first, and then you go do whatever the rest of the weekend.
One thing about Omni wallet is once you have the address, right, you can always check the amount of coins you have in there. You don't have to log in at any time. So you will know whether your coins is still there. Let's say there is a function that online is online. So even though your coins are offline, if you still have your wallet, you can just punch into an online website, and then the website will tell you how much coin you have. But you can't spend. You just
Yeah, Omni wallet is not an exchange house; it's just storage. That's all.
I see your address.
Omni wallet. Once you put your coins to Omni wallet, what is the chance of using it for trading and
Using it for what?
You can send back to an exchange.
Omni wallet is just like a bank where you hold your
It's just storage. It's like your safe at home. You just keep it there for safe keeping. That's all.
So if
It's not an exchange house. It's not a bank.
goes out of business, it has a problem, you still have your money.
understand my coins from the Omni wallet.
So you have your coins on Poloniex today. You need to set up an Omni wallet. Then you move your coins to Omni wallet. That's all. Once you want to send from Omni wallet, you just key. Say you want to send them back to Poloniex. You key in your Poloniex wallet ID. They send it back there.
If I want to sell the
Go to Poloniex and sell. Yeah.
I will transfer it back to Poloniex.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
It's just an extra step.
They,
You
they,
wanna have more
yeah,
stuff.
there are people who are sometimes worried, right? Oh, I will lose 10 MaidSafes when I send them out, and then I lose another 5 MaidSafe, and the cost of paying this is cheaper than the cost of security lah. You like they say, if tomorrow Poloniex shut down, quite nil lah. Yeah, and then suddenly the MakeSafe volume goes to like $10 per coin, then it's really gonna hurt lah. Sorry?
Hopefully yours is small, Poloniex after all this talking. Hopefully you don't keep all yours on.
No, I don't keep mine all on Poloniex. I've got a small bit on Poloniex, right? So just to quick change if I need to quickly liquidate some money, then I go to Poloniex and I sell those, but I don't keep everything on Poloniex.
Your small could be most of us big, bro. You know who you are.
But if all of us today sold our names, we could crash the main market quite big. We have a plan, but maybe the wine should not hear all this.
Big market crashes and how you sell my bad day.
Yeah, okay, so any questions with regards to trading platforms, safe forum, anything about technicalities that way, other questions that way, yeah, all questions basically that way.
Diamond plan this way.
I haven't tried taking them out from anything yet.
Yeah, not fast, slower, medium, but you can also say fast. So,
the last time I tried was 60 units.
I guess that's a lot about coin investment stuff. Are we having like dev or code questions about
developer questions?
You won't understand the question. I wouldn't understand my question. Excuse me, one second.
So yeah, I guess the next step is if there's anything you want to talk about, we'll leave it all into it. Malaysia specific.
If anyone has any ideas in terms of what would you want MakeSafe to do in Malaysia, you can try bringing that up. If not today, you can move that in the WhatsApp group. Then we will try to bring this up with MakeSafe and see what can we do. The initiative we've started on our own is using social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. We'll be posting whatever MakeSafe churns out, whatever information they bring out. I'll just be sharing it on Facebook, right? So some of you are my Facebook friends. Just continue liking and sharing, so we get it out as much, create that level of interest out there. That's one way of doing it, and that's the same message that Doug gave out when he recently tweeted the plan video, and he said, put this on your social platforms, social media platforms, get it out there, get people be aware, right? I'm only worried. My only worry is this: the crypto world is about short-term profits. It is about the short-term profits, right? I've seen how this world works. People just want to get into a coin. They read an article. They buy a coin, and in the next 1 month it's supposed to be $50 or $100, and that's it. I make that load of money, and then I go for a vacation somewhere and I go home, right? This is how the crypto world works. Now, MakeSafe doesn't work like that. They don't give you articles that hype you up. They give you real information, real-time development information, and it could launch any day. It can launch next month. It can launch in 2019. It can launch in 2020 for all we know, right? Only David and probably Nick knows about what's probably the launch going to be like. So there's a lot of hype about Alpha 3 and Alpha 4, and even then people are guessing about when. Now the problem we have is it might launch any day, and if you start trading and you start being smart about it, and then you get caught with no mates in your wallet, and all of a sudden MakeSafe is $10, there's no guarantee here, right? Yeah. So this is the kind of thing that at least I avoid, right? I don't wanna speculate about when it's gonna crash or when it's gonna go up, you know? Yeah, I've got a plan and I'm patient about it, right? Yeah. So a lot of people ask me what it's gonna be first quarter. I tell them if I knew that, I knew when I'm retiring. That's it. So this is the video, the Kaiser report.
Yes, it's just like a long time ago. The guy interviewed.
This is one of my favorite videos.
Know in the future that information is not owned by businesses, and that's why MaidSafe started.
Okay, so let's, interesting. So before there was Bitcoin, there was this idea for MaidSafe.
Yeah.
And now, however, MaidSafe has become quite big because you've done an offering, you've raised a bunch of money around it. We'll get to that in a second. But just to kind of dig into what it is again, you're saying that information is not safe using protocols like Google and other places because it goes to their servers. Their servers are being monitored by foreign intelligence agencies, as we now know. The Edward Snowden revelations. I take it the Edward Snowden revelations really gave you guys a shot in the arm, right?
They just proved what we thought was the case. And literally, if you think about it, if you're trying to remember the top 5 phone numbers on your phone, you won't remember them because your phone remembers them for you. That does the translation. If you're trying to remember how to go from dollars to pounds or Celsius to Fahrenheit or whatever, Google remembers that for you. So just now we are going through a stage where most of our thoughts are short-term, quick thinking is in the computer.
We're outsourcing our thinking to the computer.
So if that computer or that information is owned by a corporation that's just going to mine that and sell it back to you, then that's a very poor way for the society to go forward.
So, okay, now when you talk about information as a currency, and you're saying this kind of predates Bitcoin in a lot of ways, or it does, and in fact, when we know about what we know about Bitcoin is that it's two things. It's a way to transfer value around the internet, and it's also a store of value in the Bitcoin itself. Now, with MaidSafe, is it also a way to move value around the internet, and is it also a store of value? Is it comparable in that way?
It's very, very comparable. You can look at MaidSafe, the SafeCoin part of MaidSafe, which is a facilitation for the way that the network works. So if you're a farmer, the MaidSafe network, the computer is on, is providing resources to the network, that's like a Bitcoin miner. So that's quite similar. There's no blockchain at all. It's completely distributed. So you can imagine that Bitcoin and protocols like that are a public ledger. They're very good for public ledger. We need a public ledger. My opinion is government and corporations should be on a public ledger. People shouldn't. So the SafeCoin, the currency of the MaidSafe network, SafeCoin, is like cash. If I pay you in SafeCoin, nobody knows.
So there's no public ledger.
No.
It's a fully distributed network.
It's a fully distributed autonomous network. So this is the first of its kind. And the way that it works, really, everybody's computer joins together to form this great big cyber brain, if you like. You decide to connect to that brain. You decide, nobody else. You don't tell us, you don't tell anyone. And you store your data on it. You can start making safe coins, you can buy and sell things on it. But the important thing is you can access all the world's information.
Does it use encryption?
Several levels of encryption. Yeah.
Okay, let me jump over to Nick here for a second so we can, now you're the Chief Operating Officer of SafeCoin. So just to pick up on this thread, so it uses encryption. So when you're describing it here, it sounds like P2P file swapping, where people are using their hard drives to swap music files back and forth. But what you're saying is it's a distributed network that's fully encrypted, and it mimics Bitcoin in many ways. That you can use it to exchange value as well as a store of value. Are we getting closer to this?
At its core, it's effectively a global decentralized data and communications network. So that's all form of communications. That's email. That's voice over IP. So what we're trying to do, Max, is effectively replace the internet and decentralize the internet. So the comparison to Bitcoin, I think, is a good one, is in the same way that Bitcoin is trying to replace financial institutions and intermediaries in financial transactions. MaidSafe is also trying to do the same with data. So we are removing data centers from data communications and potentially large technology companies, and so that individual users become this network. So we are doing for data, what Bitcoin's doing for trade is a phrase that we've got.
Yeah, you guys are up in Scotland, up in Troon, Scotland. And any particular reason why you are in Troon, Scotland, or you just happen to meet up there and that's just the way?
We're there for the Augustines mostly.
The Augustines?
Yeah, very good up there.
I see. So that's kind of the whole company's plan. Now, speaking of the company being powered by Augustines and also by some cash, because this is where kind of the rubber hits the road. You did raise some money recently. Again, this is an interesting phenomenon in the crypto space.
Videos like 30 minutes long right now.
Yeah. So if you want this video, I've got it. I've got the link. I can send it to you. Watch it on your own free time. But it's hearing it from Nick and David themselves when they break down what they're trying to do, like replace the internet, data, and information. I mean, just don't get addicted, right? That's the problem I have now. So anyway, I posted. I'll post it again. I'll send it to you separately also, that just you can take a look at it. Yeah. So, any questions? I will be setting up a tour agency somewhere in the future. We'll be doing special tours to Troon, Scotland. You know.
Can we have more? I think that is what.
That's the plan. That's the plan. So we will. So we will do this once a month. You can come. You can get. We'll give you updates from the forum. We'll run the forum updates for you. What's been happening for the whole month. But what I separately we do, Haojun and I also do. Haojun also quite active in the forum. He got to trust level 3 before I did, right? Yeah, so he's been more addicted to the forum than I have. There's going to be a new website also, makesafe.net. It's coming. I think in the next couple of weeks they will show you the new one. This one is nice. It's better than the previous one, but it's still very, I don't know. It just doesn't tell you enough, right? So we will share updates. What happens in the weekly forums? We share that in the WhatsApp group, so you can read the weekly updates. Become a member of the forum. You should be able to access that quite easily. Yeah. So this is what they give you, right? They give you the overall update, and then they start getting very technical. So they lose me about 1/3, and then that's it. It gets very, very technical. If you're a developer, then you can continue reading and understand it a bit more. It gets into the infrastructure of the network itself, what's been happening in the background, and the developers will give their own updates. Amazing stuff if you're a developer. For me, I tried reading it a few times. I never understood whatever they wrote. Yeah. So it's a really good place for information. If you do not have an account, you must have an account. If you have MadeSafe, you must have an account on the forum. You must go and read, right? But be careful, it's addictive. Okay? Yeah. If you don't know what to read the price and marketing trending topics, that alone will get you excited and you keep going and going. 4,000 over threads there, you go and read, Yeah. So there are price projections, like Dono, crazy price projections, and some very positive people and there's some very negative people, so it keeps you in balance quite nicely. And then you find videos like this, you find other videos, you find this video with the Nazi guy, the Hitler video, all sorts of nice videos you can try to learn from. Yeah, but this, again, I have to say this, it's not a Ponzi scheme, it's not an investment platform, it's a company trying to develop an entirely new internet platform for the world. Right? This could be some really revolutionary stuff here. And you make some money out of it.
But then again, no Ponzi company have ever admitted they are Ponzi.
This is another one of my favorite videos. It's quite easy to, but it's a bit longer than the earlier video. So you've got a lot of information on the forums. Yeah. So we will try to organize this, or we really want to do this once a month, right? So if you don't read your weekly updates, you come here, you get whatever updates from here. This could be the spot that we keep doing it. The rooms are collapsible. You can open up more and more. If the community grows to be bigger, then we can. Sunday Convention Center is also available. We can host up to 2,000, 3,000 people. I'm sure they will be happy to rent, right? Yeah. So I don't know. Let's see what happens first. Yeah. So that's the plan.
any of your friends who are interested in this project, for Malaysian of course, which are not in the the WhatsApp group, yeah, I can send over, then we'll add them.
Yeah, you can just share their number in the group, we'll add them into the group. If you want to get into the group, reach out to Will, he can pop your number or you can give me a number. We have a few administrators here, Arjun is one of them. If I wanted to admit it. Yeah, I think I have added someone here. Will is, Nono is one, I am one. So we've got a few administrators here. Just reach out to any one of us, we can have your number added into there. Put her in. Okay. You let her know. Later she asked me what she said. Okay. So there are people who just want to know about the project. They haven't bought anything yet, right? I just add them in because it's a good source of information that we get the weekly updates and all that. So that's one way of doing it.
Maybe next time get someone from Maidsafe to do like some colleges or relevance.
Yeah. One of the sessions we are targeting to do it later in the day, possibly in the evening, maybe on a Saturday evening. So I hope you're clubbing that night. We will do it before that, right? But the idea is to get Doug or maybe David or someone to call in, stream in live, and maybe they can tell us a bit more about yeah. It's good to connect with the people who are really running the project. Hao Jun tried to get Doug this time, but unfortunately it's going to be 6:30 in the morning when we start our meeting, so it's not conducive for him. At the same time, he had become plans. So maybe one of the other sessions will have someone from Scotland dial. Is that his house or his office? I need to know whether there's enough space for me and
That's his office.
That's his home office.
What's happening in the background?
Person then probably got a bit louder and noisier because I went to college and it was the very first time they did a student union, so I became the student union president and threw all the teachers out for a few days and just did things like that, put CND stickers on the blackboard so the teacher would bring it round when he was teaching us about electricity and stuff. So I think when I was at college it was probably all the teachers thought it was the person least likely to succeed, which I quite like. Because I later had to interview one of those guys for a job, and that was good. That was good fun.
The same sort of generation really. And what fascinates me about it, Kay was like in the time we went to the early 80s, and that's what I'm saying, you know, I know the word early kind of programming. So I'm fascinated to know really.
It's fine when you stick it on now. Okay, anything else? Any other questions?
Yeah.
So we'll keep you updated. What's going on? The next weekly update will be next Friday morning in the WhatsApp group, and then we'll advise you when is the next monthly meeting. Yeah.
Friday is very easy to wake up. The rest of the days.
So on Thursday evening, Arjun and I will be having a small bet, Alpha 3, Alpha whatever, what's the great update coming out tomorrow, Yeah. No one has won the bet yet, but yeah. Never stop your progress.
Customer apps people can make from MakeSafe. Yes, that's it. Just take some pictures and try to make the next meeting even later.
You can invite anyone you want, friends, your neighbors, whatever. Just feel free to invite. There's no restriction to whether they can come or not, right? It's if they want to learn, anyone can come. It's not a problem.
It's another app they used to have.
So once you have got the entire network, you'll have all the steps available to power the network.
That's pretty much it.
So this venue is good. Everyone,
Yeah, it's fine.
convenient. Most people work around Sunday. Yeah. Let's see, I think the next one we try to line up with Doug and or David or Nick or someone. Yeah, maybe about 8:30, 8 o'clock, we try to stream in. And they have enough time to brush their teeth and have breakfast and be ready for a good discussion. Yeah, we'll hear from the guys in Scotland themselves. Okay.
Thanks everyone.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Have a great weekend. Feel free to grab one or two stickers for your phones or home or wherever. Okay.
Oh, sounds good.
Thank you.
So you have to be updated because the back to later. Huh? No, over here. Safe network. Each one is
It's hard to say. Just like my name is Nithya, and they call me Nithya. Yes. So I wanted to ask you, it's like, how much the job also job is for some simple experience.
I didn't say so. I didn't say so.
Guys, can we have a group photo? One for the forum.
Don't let you foolish. What size is this?
Okay, everybody just stand into the frame here and so photographer is waiting.
Let's get evidence for these fellows are going to come back. Tall one in front, taller one behind.
Okay,
Okay, come. Stomach in, chest out. Try your best, try your best.
There's a lot of stomach to eat, notice.
Yeah. Hey, do you want to do a short video and I'll just say made safe? A short video clip and I'll just say made safe. Oh yeah. And then next one. Yeah. So.
Okay, action now.
Yeah, just say 1, 2, 3,
Made safe.
1, 2, 3.
I think we are being recorded by our own
Yeah, passing to the government. Something is going on here.
This is gonna go to the forum now. So you're gonna be like, whole day.
Good idea, right?
You even like maybe use like 20 kilos.
Everyone in the city have t-shirts and all that.
So much for them.
This came with the people who brought it.
You help me.
I just say it's too big. New trend again.
Say go share the video. Go like and share the video on Facebook. I only like it's a share on the right. The like is on the left and share is on the right. If you really can't, then just like it up. So just check on Facebook.
But let me know what to do.
Later, drop me like.
So once you let me know that,
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.